Okay guys, so on AdWords, the first thing we're going to be doing is we're always going to start with YouTube ads. And really, there's enough traffic on there to scale to more money than you could ever possibly imagine spending on there. And definitely enough money that you could consider your ROI on this program to be like 1,000%. You can easily get to $10,000, $20,000 a day. It's not a problem. The thing is, what type of video ads are we going to create and how are we going to express what we're doing? So I'm going to share with you the script I use over and over and over and over again. It has worked for me for forever. It allows me to get CPLs and opt-ins that are much cheaper than other people who I compare to. So I'm going to share it with you because it's really easy. Now, once you get this under your belt, you start playing with your ads. I suggest you go a little crazy, try different things, experiment. I've tried so many different types of ads. I've tried ads where like people click through a story and it's like a yes/no thing and they click on multiple ads in a row. I've tried ads that show in a certain order. I've tried sending them to an ad that's a video first and then retargeting them after. Just hitting them over the head with this ad has been the most effective thing. So I'm not telling you not to experiment. I'm just telling you I've pretty much done all the experimenting. This is what works best. If there was something that works better, I would tell you. But there isn't. So what I suggest doing is you start here, and then if you want to go crazy and experiment, do so. If you want to change up the script, the format of this, do so. There's plenty of ads that I have that don't follow this script exactly or go past a minute and 30 seconds, which is what I'm going to talk about right here. But I haven't really seen much benefit to those ads. Usually those ads don't perform well. So this is usually going to be the right ad format. So let me state how this script works. It's really easy. When you run ads on YouTube, of course, there's a 5-second period where a person decides whether they're going to click the ad or not. And we're going to watch a few ads on here. And you're going to see me doing this exact setup. So let's discuss how this is going to work. So what happens is in the first 5 seconds of the ad, I'm going to explain how this works and then we'll actually look at the ads. In the first 5 seconds of the ad, what we want to do is we want to do what I like to call a state your business hook. It's very important. The biggest mistake I see people make with their YouTube ads is they start their ads off in a really interesting way that doesn't state what the ad's going to be about. So it's like them and some supermodel, and they don't really make it clear. They don't even talk in the first 5 seconds. That sucks because what happens is AdWords isn't going to start optimizing your ads around the people that actually want to view the ad. You're going to have tons of people view your ad because it's interesting, but just because they're viewing it doesn't mean they're a target customer. What you want to do is you want to start off in an interesting way, of course, but you want to make it very clear what the ad's about and very clear what it's not about. So if I was selling or running an ad where I was selling an air purifier, I'd say, you know, in the state of Texas, people that breathe this type of air get sick 50% more. In that first 5 seconds, like people that are not are interested in solving that problem, they're going to listen to the ad. So when I'm running ads, you're going to notice at the beginning of every single ad, I mention money and the benefit of making some extra amount of money. When you see me running high-ros ads, I cover and say, dude, if you are running ads and not doing this, you should be scared crapless. And iron ads, I say, man, if you're selling courses online and you're not doing this, you're insane. I call out to the target market and explain a big benefit or a big con to watching this ad. You see how that works? So you're going to see in a few ads, like this one, for example, I call it to the target market by talking about financials in the first 5 seconds. This is Matt Schmidt. Started a Shopify store in 30 days and did $137,000. Okay, you can see this is him. He's making a lot of money. How's he making money? That's what the person's going to be interested in. Now you're going to see in this ad right here, this is a super broad ad. It is crazy, super duper broad. So I can start it off in this very broad way. It just talks about general money. Now, on the flip side, this is a high-ros ad where it's very, or this is an iron ad where it's way more specific. It's targeting people that sell courses or consulting. So you can see I have the headline right here, and I'm stating my business very quickly.
Selling coaching or consulting online and not running Google ads is like eating spaghetti without utensils.
Okay, the whole premise of the ad is covered in 5 seconds. If you don't sell courses, you're probably not going to watch this ad. And the last ad that I just showed you, if you're not interested in how this guy's making a lot of money, probably not going to watch this ad. The business is stated. The business is stated in the first 5 seconds. Because I want to get everybody that's not interested in making money or not interested in selling courses out of here, and I want to get the people that are interested watching it. If you make your ad interesting without stating your business, the inverse can happen. The people that you want to watch the ad might bounce, and the people that you don't want to watch the ad might watch. So you got to cover that in the first 5 seconds. So then what we're going to do in the next 30 to 45 seconds, these timestamps on the video, is we want to tell a promise story or an explanation. And so what this is it's an explanation or story or example of your big promise being achieved. So what the big promise for the HCOM webinar is how we made how we made a lot of money very quickly without any of the things that you think you hate about business. That's the story. That's the promise. At Hyros, for example, the story or the big promise is, how to make significantly more from your ads by using advanced tracking. Now, that actually has a much more buzzwordy promise, but that's the overall gist of the promise. At Iron, it's how to scale your consulting service or course business using YouTube ads. So what you want to do is you want to tell a story or explain what you stated in your business section, or show examples of your promise being achieved. The story, the explanation, or the examples must explain or lay out the promise and how it's being achieved. That's what it is. So look at your promise and think of a story that you can tell that emphasizes that promise and what they're going to see. Think of an explanation that explains that promise that they're going to want to find out more information about, or show results of your promise being fulfilled. So let's look at us doing that right here. In this example, I just go with results. In sales. Within 3 months, it did 520,000 something in sales. What's even cooler is people have copied what Matt is doing, and you see this laundry list of people right here. They all copied it, and now they're making money as well. Those are all income results flashing right there. And why are they able to do this? Because what Matt does requires no upfront investment, requires no prior experience, and a lot of these people got that in a very quick time frame. There it is. In this example right here, I'm just showing results of my promise being achieved and then connecting it. That's it. I'm saying, look, all these people right here, they're getting the promise and they're doing it without the things you hate. I'm just emphasizing the promise and using examples right there. Now, we can also tell a story that emphasizes this. So I tell a story about how Instagram influencers are making money by selling other people's stuff, basically achieving the promise to make money off of all their efforts. Let me show you how. So I'm sure you've been to Instagram and you see people modeling bikinis, clothing, workout gear, all sorts of stuff like that. Well, here's the funny thing. They go and model this stuff on their Instagram, and then what they do is they send people to their store where they actually just go and you can see like bikinis or those cute pajamas you see them modeling in. So then what happens is you go to their website and you buy those pajamas for $30, $40, $50, and then what happens is they go and buy it from these Chinese wholesale sites for $8 and ship it to you and keep the $42 profit. Pretty clever way to make money, right? Well, I want to show you a way that's even cleverer than that. And the ironic thing is it's actually a lot easier because it doesn't take any influencer power. You don't need any followers whatsoever. It doesn't take any upfront investment. You can do it from home. It doesn't take any staff either. Okay, so what is that? I told an explanation of how the promise works. So the person watches the video, they go, oh man, I get that. And that would allow me to make money without all the things I hate in a very quick time frame. Okay, so to make them go, when you're doing an explanation type ad, the person's going to go, oh, I get that, and that would allow me to achieve the promise. That's how you want them to do, and you say, all right. And we'll move on to the CTA here in a second. You can also tell a story of someone achieving the promise. So this is Yami, he came in, or I say this is Matt Schmidt, he makes $137K a month. And he was actually able to scale this to $50K a month. And the crazy thing about this is he did it without this thing, and he achieved the promise. Make a big, enticing promise. Now, this is going to be where we'll have to experiment a few times. And not every single ad is going to work, but you want to try different combinations of this, 30 to 45 seconds. So state the promise, give them a bunch of benefits, and then hook them by saying, I can't tell you more, or if you want to find out more information, or if you want to do the same thing that all the people that you just saw who are getting these results did, we're having a free training today. We're having a free training today. Only catch to this is I can't explain it all in the YouTube ad. So if you click in the upper right-hand corner, if you're on mobile, or the lower left-hand corner if you're on, do the call to action. 4 years of college,
no 10 years doing some dead end job to get a promotion from their boss. They simply copy doing too. We're having a Now, if you're interested in copying what Matt is doing too, we're having a live call today, which you can attend by clicking the upper right-hand corner if you're on your mobile phone, or the lower left-hand corner if you're...
Okay, so now we call to action. Let's see how we do that on the Hyros ad. We'll watch the promise story, then we'll watch the call to action.
Kind of gross and very depressing to watch, which is why I'm making this video for you. Okay, so look, in the past year, I've sold 8 figures worth of a single product through a single funnel, through a single set of Google Ads. And because it's so singly simple, it's actually pretty easy to manage. It only takes me about 20 to 30 minutes a day to look after. And even cooler, I didn't even have to teach or create this product. I actually found a hot niche that I knew was good to get into, and then I had other people make the product for me. And then I just applied a template I've been applying for the past 3 years to sell products, courses, coaching via ads, and that's about it. An even cooler thing about this is this template is pretty repeatable. This is why you can see people like Leo here who created a course and was able to take it all the way to $150,000.
Achieving the promise. This is what I'm doing. Here's an explanation of how it works. Here's what people have done who've copied the promise. Here's people achieving the promise. A repeatable way to scale their business with YouTube ads. Now, if you want to find out more,
estate coaching business. As soon as he did, he was on pace to have his first 6-figure month. Now look, I'm not guaranteeing these results at all. These are obviously awesome results. What I am guaranteeing is if you click this ad, it will take you to a page where I will break.
Here's the big promise. Here's everything you could achieve. But in order for you to learn how to use this promise and get results from this promise, you need to click this
down
ad.
This entire template, how I run my
call to action. Now what we're going to do in the next section is you can kind of free script this. This is where 90% of clicks are going to come from right here. But in the next section, for maybe the next 30 seconds, we want to explain benefits. And look, here's tons more results. Here's more people going and getting results. And the crazy thing is, this person didn't even leave their house. This person was able to do this in 20 days. This person was able to do this. Or if you've been struggling to start a business, you're able to do this without any tech skills. You're able to do this without this thing. And people are seeing results very quickly. Look at this. You're just going to explain the benefits. Okay, let's watch it on the Hyros ad. Or the Iron ad of me explaining benefits.
Ads and everything that goes behind this that I've applied to my business and that these people have applied to their businesses. And I check it out because Google Ads are a literal gold mine right now when you apply this very specific type of funnel to them. That's why you see people like Steven right here who's able to scale his business past $300,000 per month using what you can see here if you just click this ad. This is why you see people like Nick right here who's able to go and add millions.
Okay, so you see, we just throw in more benefits, more results, more examples of why this is awesome and it achieves the promise. That's it. You're going to see the same exact thing in these ads, and I'll link to them below, and I'll link to this ad below as well. It's all right there. It's just me repeating the promise and benefits and restating some other ways to hook them in. I do another call to action, and at the end of the ad, what we're going to do is we're going to place a screen that directs them to click. There's a black screen. Click now. Same exact thing. Black screen. Click this ad. It's that simple. And this format right here works for me like crazy. It's worked for me for years, and it's always got me way better CPOs than everybody else. I know it's incredibly simple, but this just works. Because the goal right here is to get people to click and opt in. Now again, we want to keep all the same concepts that we've used throughout the course. Don't tell them exactly what it is unless you're trying to market exactly to that market. So for example, if I'm showing people how to scale their business on YouTube ads and sell more courses, I'm going to mention courses, I'm going to mention YouTube ads, because I know that's the big promise they want to learn how to do, but I'm going to mention all the things that they can do and why I'm doing something very unique that nobody else is doing. You have to create some curiosity. Don't be like, hey, I'm running a webinar funnel to YouTube ads, and I'm like using this type of script right here. Make it very like, hey, look, there's this tweak on this new type of funnel that I've been running. When you combine this with YouTube ads, it's insane, and it's so crazy because it's just a small tweak on this classic weird funnel. You see how I create some curiosity? Same thing with the Shopify ads. I don't mention Shopify ads. I say, look, you basically go and you get these items online. Big brands used to only be able to do this, and you get these items and you can actually sell them for way more. You pay $10 for it and you sell $40 of it. It's the basic buy and sell. I'm going and I'm creating some curiosity. I don't name the thing. And so it's not going to be as tragic as if you make this mistake in the webinar, because these ads take you like a minute to film. However, we want to keep all the same exact concepts going on. Now, so this is how the script works. Again, watch the video before this where we talk about finding the big promise. And what you want to do is you really want to find, you want to start your ads off almost the same way. And then you really want to see which promise and explanation right here gets the best results. So this is going to be the only variable that changes when we're going and testing our first ads. But try and start them in the same way. And then, I mean, you can use the same benefits and withouts, but you want to find your main promise right here and see what people really respond to. Okay? And then we can go and start playing with how we open in the 5 seconds and change this all up. But what you're going to do when you're starting these ads up or you're running these ads, we're just basically going to play with these parts and interchange them. And this is how we write our ads. We're going to try different combinations, different messages, maybe filming in different areas, but it's usually going to be the message of the ad and how you start off the first 5 seconds and how and what you promise in the next 30 to 45 seconds. It controls the CPL and every other aspect of the ad. So that being said, now that we have the script, now that we understand what to look for, we're going to start diving into how to go and first make our first YouTube ads and scale it up and make it work. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.